trap, feel a strap, holding still, pins for kill. Chances narrow that I'll make it in the cushion straight jacket, just like 22nd Street. They got me by my neck and feet. Precious building, can't take more. Headaches charge, earaches raw. Despair, get me out of despair. Thank you. Good night, people.
Are you losing your sense of direction? In need of vision correction? Plug in, you'll feel the connection. Look through, it's the latest fashion.
This is not an obstacle. Freedom is a spectacle.
This is not an obstacle.
Hey! One sec. Completely the wrong window. Hey Becca, how are you doing? Thank you for the drop-in. How was your stream? How are we all doing? I'm just putting up a going live message somewhere. Actually, I was getting distracted. I found myself scrolling through Twitter when I was meant to be saying going live. What was I even doing? That stream, not right now, I mean. Hey Christos, thanks for the follow. How are you doing? Welcome on in. Right, that's the tweet gone out. Where is Dick Sword? Here it is. Woohoo! Alright, should I actually start the game now? You know what? Maybe that screen will also be good. Get the Dragon Age window captured. Is it there? I can't even remember where I left off. I was quite a lot of brandy down by that point. That was fun though. Hey, Bonerman69, thanks for the follow. Very fun username you have there. Oh, we're at Skyhold. Back to the War Council, I guess. Inquisitor, well, that was bracing. A pitched battle with evil mages disguised as kitchen servants, fireballs flying, swords flashing. It was like the old times. I'll be eating anything coming out of those kitchens for a while, let me tell you. I wonder if they're going to poison me. Nasty little cultists. Anyway, I'm grateful for the Inquisition's help. We wouldn't have found them without you, King Alistair Theron. Strike a bargain with the merchant princes. A bundle of documents, at least 50 pages thick, explains the trade agreement the Inquisition has entered into with the merchant princes of Antiva. Just been attached a note. Inquisitor, I'm more than satisfied with the agreement we reached with the merchant princes. Here's a duplicate if you wish to review it. I'll put aside 3 days and 2 dozen candles. Ambassador Montillier. Protect Clan Lebanon. Nightingale. Our operatives harassed the enemy and created enough confusion for the Dalish to withdraw safely to a more defensible area. After investigation, your suspicions were correct. These are bandits in name only. Though there were no colours, they are mercenaries, bought and paid for by Duke Antoine of Wickham himself. It's unclear what caused Antoine to turn on the Dalish, but he should not be trusted. In public, he fully supports the Inquisition, even pledging gold to our coffers, but he has a private agenda currently unknown. I can continue gathering information, but suspicions in Wickham are high after the bandits ran into trouble, and any sabotage inside the city runs a high risk of detection. Jester. Okay. That ally from Starkhaven. The Inquisition has received a missive from Starkhaven. Ah, this cunt. Most cordial greetings. My name is Sebastian Vale, sole heir to the Vale Princes of Starkhaven. I recently retook the throne of this great city from those who sought to gain it through unjust means. As a most devoted adherent of the Chantry, I felt the loss of most holy Justinian V keenly. I too hope for a resolution to the terrible conflict that claimed the lives of hundreds in Kirkwall, and now threatens to claim all of Thedas. I extend Starkhaven's hand in friendship to the Inquisition. Together, let's right the wrongs visited upon our world. I will send emissaries, though the Free Marches cities have always been independent. Earning the support of the most prosperous ones may be to our advantage. Really? Can't I just tell him to fuck off? He's an asshole. I hate him.
Inquisitor.
Ruffles. I feel that I should have done this one first, because he addressed it to Josephine personally. First off, you play a mean hand of Wicked Grace. Second, the lead you dug up for me and finding this Balenforth guy in Kirkwall is starting to show some promise. I got my editor to look around for me. She's a coterie boss, so people tell her things whether they want to or not. She tracked down the poor sod carrying the manuscripts out of Kirkwall. This is where it gets weird. The courier is a magistrate, Lord Werner Cammering. The coterie won't touch him with a 10-foot pole. Maybe you could have a polite word with him for me. I know a few favours in Viscount's office. I could call one in. Magistrate courier has to be involved in something else. Let's find out what. I have a friend in Kirkwall Guard. She might be. Yeah, I think.
Let's see what we have.
Then Liana does kind of make sense. Why the Arcanist? Skyhold has an incredible potential for runecrafting and mastercraft smithing, if only we had a gifted mind to gain full benefit. The War and the Venatori have claimed many experts, but we have located an arcanist with great skill and a reputation for humbling first enchanters in both Andrastian and Imperial circles. 2 assassination attempts and at least 1 explosion have made landholders reluctant to allow her passage through their territory. It will take a significant effort to bring her from Tantervale, but this arcanist would be invaluable to the Inquisition. Bar passage, they must know she's there. They will not. Alliance can overwhelm any concern. The owners of where she will travel need only be convinced. This is instant. Fuck it. A full retinue will secure her safety along the Imperial Highway. The Arcanist has been secured despite great cost and concern of more than a few traditional minded mages. He awaits the meeting with the Inquisitor in the Undercroft. Okay, what else can we do with And noting careful handwriting from the youth who recently arrived. To the Inquisition, I found bandits stalking your patrols. They are the usual kind and can show your people where they are. I have tried to stop them, but they have swords and I don't. If you have extra, I will help. I want to help. D. Sutherland. For the location, just eliminate them, put the boy to work elsewhere. Boy knows where they are, outfit him. It's a minor threat.
All right.
Sure. Hawk has revealed that Corypheus can influence the minds of Grey Wardens. If the Darkspawn brings them under his sway, he'll command a legion of highly skilled warriors. The Inquisition must hunt down Hawk's Grey Warden ally hiding in Crestwood to learn of the other Warden's plans. No one has travelled to or from Crestwood since the breach, and Liliana will set her fastest agents to discover what disaster has rendered it silent. Inquisitor, Hawk's warden friend is somewhere here. Disappeared before you could talk to him. He's good. Be careful on the road. Lots of undeads. People here need our help. Explain once more when you're here. Harding. Okay. I wonder if I actually found and talked to Hawk. Or Cullen or anyone, really.
Yes? What do the people make of us?
We've gathered many favors among the nobility. They will be gently reminded of this.
Let's speak later.
Farewell.
Is this where the Undercroft is? No, I think this is the kitchen. Oh, okay. We found Master Dennett. And so Blackwall's in there.
Finally, a place for the horses. I forgot about the Ferelden horses.
Inquisition?
How are your charges? Well supplied?
Surprisingly well. Not many could feed these people, let alone their mounts. Makes me wonder what you're capable of.
Farewell.
Make her be with you.
Something on your mind?
What do you think of the Inquisition?
I just know that you could shake this world to its foundations if you willed it.
We should return to our duties.
As you wish. You are, after all, in charge.
Oh, look. That's not foreshadowing at all. What a cute little picture of things.
There's a rumor that Corypheus is in league with elven forces.
Which would those be? The mighty standing army of that land they don't have?
You can't trust them.
Maybe you don't want to say that so loud around the Inquisition.
This is different. The Maker did this.
Right. Now you're making sense.
What is this? Okay, I do remember being here. I kind of miss having a hub area that was as small as the Normandy, or even the camp in Origins. Because fuck me, finding everyone and remembering to talk to them and get quests and dialogue and shit when they're in this labyrinth.
Inquisitor.
Hi, hello. What even is this? Is it like a dungeon or something? Yes, that's exactly what this is.
No one to watch over, your worship. We either have many friends, or you've made short work of enemies.
Yeah, we are big on prisoners, I guess. Although, if you really don't like someone, this is where you put them. This where Cass was? No. I think this might have been where Cole was? Maybe? No, there's the same picture of Mithal and Fentanyl. Cass is there.
You knew where Hawk was all along.
You're damned right I did.
You conniving little shit.
You kidnapped me. You interrogated me. What did you expect?
I expected you to tell the truth. I told you what was at stake.
So I just hand her over on your say-so? It's okay, Hawk. This
Zealot isn't crazy. I promise. Look at her. She's finally lost it.
This would be funny if it wasn't also kind of sad.
We needed someone to lead this Inquisition. First, Liliana and I searched for the hero of Ferelden, but she had vanished. Then, we looked for Hawke, but she was gone too. We thought it all connected, but no. It was just you. You who kept her from us.
The Inquisition has a leader.
Hawke would have been at the Conclave if anyone could have saved Most
She
Holy.
would have died.
Varric's not responsible for what happened at the Conclave.
I was protecting my friend.
Varric is a liar, Inquisitor. A snake. Even after the Conclave, when we needed Hawke most, Varric kept her secret.
She's with us now. We're on the same side.
We all know whose side you're on, Varric. It will never be the Inquisition's.
Varric's earned his right to be here, Cassandra.
Thank you.
I must not think of what could have been. We have so much at stake. Go, Varric. Just go.
You know what I think? If Hawke had been at the temple, she'd be dead too. You people have done enough to her.
I believed him. He spun his story for me, and I swallowed it. If I just explained what was at stake, if I just made him understand. But I didn't, did I? I didn't explain why we needed Hawke. I'm such a fool.
You only realized that you needed Hawke when you found out about Corypheus.
What if you hadn't believed him and you'd tracked Hawke down?
Honestly, Hawke might not even have agreed to become Inquisitor.
No, she probably wouldn't have done.
The Mage Rebellion, after all. She wouldn't have trusted me for a second. But this isn't about Hawke, or even Varric. Not truly. I should have been more careful. I should have been smarter. I don't deserve to be here.
You're too hard on yourself, Cassandra.
Not hard enough, I think.
You can't believe that.
I want you to know, I have no regrets. Maybe if we'd found Hawke or the hero of Ferelden, the Maker wouldn't have needed to send you. But he did. You're not what I pictured. But if I've learned anything, it's that I know less than nothing.
Yeah, I'm not guessing the I have no regrets from you, honestly.
Greetings.
Do you have any advice for me?
Tell that demon, what does it call itself? Cole. Tell it to leave.
It's not a
He may
demon.
not mean harm, but that does not mean he will not harm us. Spirits are not creatures to take at face value. Be cautious with him, Inquisitor.
He seems nice. I like him.
I have some more questions.
Why am I not surprised?
Tell me about your brother.
I would prefer not to speak of Anthony. Another time, perhaps.
I'm glad you're a video game character who doesn't mind this incessant prodding about someone you don't actually want to talk to.
May I ask you about the Chantry?
It is difficult to say what becomes of the Chantry now. They have no Templars, no leadership, and no one left who is worthy of succeeding the Divine. It has fallen apart when everyone needs it the most. I ache to think what this will mean in the days to come.
Do you really believe the Chantry is worth preserving?
I do. Though I understand how someone born outside of human society might think otherwise. Cast the Chantry aside and new problems replace old ones. We will have learned nothing from history. The people need stability, and the Chantry needs a new purpose. Andraste had a dream for us. It can still be achieved.
So, what should this new purpose be?
A dedication to what is truly important. Instead of building cathedrals and sewing gowns for the divine, the Chantry used to spend its coin feeding the poor. If we are to spread the Maker's word across the world, we must do so with open hearts and open hands.
That sounds rather idealistic of you.
Does it? I do not think it's so unachievable. The Chantry has many good, honest people. They just need direction and inspiration.
It also has a ton of
Freed
Roderick's.
from centuries of adherence to tradition and ceremony. A chance for renewal is at our fingertips. It does not have to come with utter chaos.
Will the Chantry replace Divine Justinia?
They will try. Once the priests withdraw for the Grand Consensus, it is against Chantry law for them to emerge without naming a new divine. Sometimes it takes days, or weeks, or even months. The problem now is that no clear successor to Justinia exists. All worthy clerics died with her at the Conclave.
So what happens if they can't agree on someone?
Theoretically, they will argue until exhaustion takes them or they see reason. Practically, however, if the Grand Consensus goes on too long, the Chantry will crumble. Any cleric with ambition but little sense will see this as her one chance, and plenty of such clerics exist. We shall see what happens. The Inquisition must act in the meantime.
If they do choose a new divine, will you serve her?
That depends on whether she would have me. I am a rebel now, remember? And even if she would, I do not know. It would depend on what type of divine she is. I am no longer in a position to follow blindly, and no new divine could expect such obedience now.
Wow.
I'm surprised you rebelled against the Chantry.
I left my own order when they took the wrong path. It is no different. But in neither case did I stop caring. Indeed, I care so much that I feel drastic action is necessary. I suppose history shall one day judge my actions.
Thank you.
Right. Sarah and Ironborn are in the pub. Cram!
Of course.
Inquisitor?
I'd like to know more about the Iron Bull.
The chief. First time I met him, he saved my life. I never thought I'd work for a Qunari, but he grows on you. He's not like any commander.
God, I hope he doesn't grow anymore. He's already huge.
How's Iron Bull as a commander?
If you know what you're doing and hold up your end, he's easy. He doesn't accept any less. If he keeps us alive, he leads from the front, and if you've an idea that'll win the fight, he listens. I've seen bands whose captains had to prove they were swinging the biggest sword. Well, isn't like that. The charges might give him more lip than you'd expect, but every one of us would lay down our lives for the big ass.
How did a Tevinter soldier wind up in a Qunari spy's mercenary company?
I wasn't a soldier at the time. I was in some trouble, trying to flee to Vinter. A tribune and his men caught me in a border town tavern. They meant to make an example of me. Bull killed them. Gave up his eye doing it. Patched me up and asked if I was looking for work. I've been putting up with his jokes ever since.
I'm impressed how you can talk while swigging that bottle.
That's how he lost the eye?
Yes. The guards had me on the tavern floor when Bull came inside and yelled for them to stop. One of them saw trouble coming and figured he'd finish me off. The guard had a flare. Bull put himself between me and the blow.
Oof.
Bighorned idiot. Didn't even know me.
Is it strange to work for a Qunari?
He hasn't tried to convert us to the Qun, if that's what you're asking. Bull's charges don't care who you light a candle for, so long as your shield stays up. If he hadn't told me he was Ben Hasrath, I'd have thought he'd left that life behind.
I didn't expect he'd tell you all that he was a spy.
Not the whole band, but those who've been around long enough to trust. He figures most of us would find out sooner or later, and it should come from him. Eyes to eye, he says. It's never messed up a job. He just writes letters back home. Lots of the boys write letters back home.
Not in the same capacity I'd expect. Anyway, speaking of the Iron Bull.
What can I do for you?
See you later.
Never mind, apparently we've already talked to him. We didn't talk to Krem.
The funniest thing I've seen in years. That cat dancing around, hopping and pouncing like a fool. Made my day bright, it did. Maker knows what got into the little rat catcher.
Did you hear the news?
I'm pleased to hear it.
Inquisitor.
And you are?
The bartender. Cabot.
Just the bartender?
You were expecting...
Sarah was never an agreeable girl. Her tongue tells tales of rebellion, but she
I want to know where the old bartender is, but I feel like this is just rude.
knew where she came from. Sarah was never quite the quietest girl. Her attacks are loud and
Well, welcome to the Inquisition.
Thank you. Welcome to the tavern.
she knew how to narrate.
What's the current mood?
Scorn.
Always like to say, why change the
As you were.
Inquisitor.
Today she will fight to keep her way. She's a rogue and a thief, and she'll tempt your fate. She would always like to say, why change the past when you can own this day? Today she will fight to keep her way. A rogue and a thief, and she'll tempt your fate. Sarah was never quite the wealthiest girl. Some say she lives in a tavern, but she was so sharp and quick with a bow. Arrows strike like a dragon.
Speaking of Sarah,
Demon armies and wardens, and Varric has exactly who he needs. The big talker just knows everything.
And she knew just how to use them. She would always like to
I'll be back if I need you.
Go on.
this day. Today
right, I think Cole's upstairs.
she's a rogue and a thief, and she'll tempt your fate. She would always like to say,
Yeah, there you are.
change the past when you can own this day. Today she
The left hand remembers a knife slipped to her in the darkness and wonders why the flower blooms.
I'd like to talk with you about Templars.
They're heavy with forgotten songs, like Varric. Some of them are too loud. It's hard to stay near them. Cullen is softer, but demons asked questions that hurt him. Evangeline was kinder. I want to explain, but Reese's mother spoke to spirits, but not to him. Then she died for a Templar he loved. Words just bounce off the edges.
What's your general opinion of Templars?
Some like hurting mages. It makes them happy, or less afraid, or dreams again. Woke up shaking, stalking the ground for one who looks like her. Always some rule being broken. But not all Templars listen when whispers crawl around inside them. They try to protect people, like Cullen. The good ones remember that mages are people.
Can you tell me more about how the Templars feel to you?
They feel older than they look. They've been changed, and their bodies are incomplete now. The lyrium helps, but their bodies always want to connect to something older, bigger than they are. That's why they block magic. They reach for that other thing, and magic has no room to come in. Like when I listen to Varric.
Can you tell me more about how the Red Templars are different?
The red lyrium is different, darker, daggers under the skin. It eats you inside until you're nothing. They hear a different song. The song behind the door old whispers want opened. They are dead and dark and done.
I'll talk to you later.
How do you know?
Because later is now.
Old pain, shadows forgotten from dreams too real. This side is slow and heavy, but here is what can change.
I've heard about some oddities here in the keep. Was that you?
Yes. Maybe. What was it?
You burnt turnips.
Can I assume you're responsible for the turnips that have shown up in the fireplaces?
They don't smell the same raw.
Let's talk about something else.
All right.
The servants are having trouble remembering some odd events.
You left plums by a window.
Someone is leaving peeled plums on the windowsill. It's attracting flies.
Spiders need to eat.
Let's talk about something else.
All right.
I hear you've been busy. Someone found a barrel full of misplaced daggers. Was that you?
They were safer there.
Safer than on someone's belt where they could draw them in the heat of an argument?
They would have been sad later.
Someone stole an entire cheese wheel.
Mice like cheese.
Do mice also like bowls of crushed mint?
That was for the cats.
So the cheese lures the mice, and the mice lure the cats, and then they smell the mint.
Mint makes the cats dance and play.
Let's talk about something else.
All right.
I don't have any more odd things, do I?
Cole. I'll talk to you later.
Probably.
Right. I need to go pee. So... Oop. Right. Let's put System of a Down back on. And I will see you in a minute.
might rain all night and then all day. The drops are the size of your hands or face. The worms come out to see what's up. We pull the cars out from the river. It's relentless, invisible, indefatigable, indisputable, undeniable. So how come it looks so beautiful? How come the moon falls from the sky?
Howdy. What are you doing to my wall? It's okay, I'm not going to judge much. It's formerly a bedroom. I mean, I guess it's still a bedroom. There is a bed and a room, but... Okay. That mountain range is so pretty. That just... yeah, it's just down to the bit where Cass and that were. Okay. Great. That led absolutely nowhere. No, let's go see Mother Giselle. Wait.
Your worship. Can you tell me how our people are doing?
What would you like to know?
How are our forces at Skyhold doing?
Still in shock, for the most part. To see Haven destroyed so soon after the Conclave. You saved many, but still lives were lost. And traveling through the wilderness did not make treating injuries easier. For all that, though, more people arrive every day. Some are refugees, but others want to help. Your Inquisition is growing. I pray you use it wisely.
Do you have information on people elsewhere?
The refugees in the hinterlands are desperate. Without help, starvation or war will claim many lives. Villagers in Crestwood are besieged by their own dead. They have sent word begging for assistance. People are vanishing in the hills of Emprise de Lyon. It may be demons or something worse, but they are terrified. More than that I cannot say. It is a chaotic time for all in Olay and Ferelden.
Farewell.
Until next time.
Right. Oh, Varric. I'm proud of you to suddenly appear like that. Are we good? See, talking to Varric so soon as after he loaded in was probably not the best choice.
That got a little heated. Are you all right?
Well, that depends. How angry is Cassandra? I wasn't trying to keep secrets. I told the Inquisition everything that seemed important at the time.
You knew about Corypheus? Well, yes. We didn't know he was in causing the breach. How could he? He thought he was dead.
I know, Varric. You never would have kept quiet otherwise.
I keep hoping none of this is real. Maybe it's all some bullshit from the Fade and it'll just disappear. I know I need to do better. I'm sorry. Corypheus is back. Oh, shit.
You said he was a Darkspawn, or a Magister. What is he really?
Both.
I'm not sure. I don't think Corypheus really knows either. He's definitely a Darkspawn, but when we found him, it was pretty obvious he hadn't heard that. He thinks he's a Magister, a priest of Dumat, in fact. He says he broke into the Golden City, like in the Chantry Tale.
If you and Hawk defeated him once, we can do it again.
We didn't just think Corypheus was dead. He was dead. No pulse, no breath, full of stab wounds. There wasn't a lot of room for doubt. It makes me wonder. I thought the Wardens imprisoned Corypheus to use him. Maybe they did it because he can't be killed.
How did you and Hawk even wind up in a Grey Warden prison for ancient Darkspawn?
Corypheus sent people after Hawk. He actually got control of an entire Carter clan. Made them drink Darkspawn blood. Weird shit. We tracked the Carter to an old dwarven fort or something in the mountains. Of course, it turned out to be a trap. They needed Hawk's blood to open the locks holding Corypheus, and they drew us into the prison to get it.
There has to be a way to defeat Corypheus. We'll find it. Don't worry.
I hope you're right. Maker's breath, what have I let loose?
You had nothing to do with this, Varric.
I was the one who led Hawk to Corypheus. If I hadn't tracked the Carta to that ruin. But you've got more important things to do than listen to me worry. Just let me know when you want something shot.
Yeah, I mean, there's a world of difference between this has got nothing to do with you and you are not responsible for this.
Looking for someone to talk your ear off? I think I can oblige.
I read your Tale of the Champion, and I have a few questions.
That's a pretty common reaction. Go ahead.
Carry on.
I've got a minute if you need something.
Can I ask you something, Varric?
You want to talk about me? I'm flat. No.
You don't have anything new to say, do you? I need to find Cullen, but I also need to find Hawk.
Left alone.
Interesting decor you have here, Solus. Very wolfy. We're just gonna stand here awkwardly looking at each other, or are we gonna load some dialogue at some point?
I'd like to hear more about what you saw in your exploration of the Fade.
I would be happy to share it with you.
Tell me about the old ruins you explored.
I found an ancient dwarven thaig no longer sheltered by the stone. An earthquake had exposed it all to daylight. 1,000 dwarven corpses lay, the victims of a darkspawn horde. Their last stand marked by one great ring of armor. In the middle, one small body, clutching tightly to a small stuffed toy.
Tell me about a spirit you encountered.
The Alamari crossed the Frostback Mountains to escape a beast they called the Shadow Goddess in their story. I met the spirit that they fled. She walks the Fade along the southern tundra, weeping lonely and forgotten. Great Ferelden formed because a lonely spirit drove her prey away.
Tell me about the old memories you found in the Fade.
I saw a dwarf emerge into the light of day and shield his eyes against the sun. The first time he had seen it, the tears were streaming from his eyes. I thought them from the blazing light, until I saw the rock he held so tightly. Then he laid the rock down gently, and he left it as he walked away.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye. My friend.
That wasn't what I wanted to do, but okay, let's talk about Corypheus.
I need to know more about Corypheus.
We spoke of this on our travels to Skyhawk. What more can I tell you? Cassandra and Varric seem more familiar with their adversary.
You've given me good counsel before. I could use some now.
My apologies, Inquisitor. My poor manners shame me. I claim no secret wisdom, but I will guess as best I can.
I would like to know more about the orb he carries.
As I said, that must be the means by which he created the breach. I suspect the blast that destroyed the Conclave was more accident than anything. The result of unlocking power that had sought release for ages. What I cannot understand is how he managed to survive such an explosion.
You said that you believed the orb is Elven.
I never would have believed a Devinter mage could unlock such a powerful relic. It clearly enhances his abilities, giving him access to power he should never have known.
Like the power to control the Archdemon?
Indirectly, one assumes.
Nothing in any law connects my people to the old god dragons who became archdemons.
What do you think Corypheus will do next?
You shamed him when you destroyed Haven. Spoiled his glorious victory. It would be worse to acknowledge that you had done so. He must continue on his course or show weakness. He will return to his clans to throw Olay into chaos, and then conquer it for Devinter.
You're sure that's what he'll do?
As certain as is possible. Assuming I can plausibly predict a man who seeks to rise to godhood.
And can you?
The key is understanding this. No real god need prove himself. Anyone who tries is mad or lying. His deception will undo him, as it has done countless fools before.
Wow, you'd be the expert there, wouldn't you, Solus?
What can you tell me about the source of Corypheus's power?
According to the law, the ancient Magistars of Devinter received guidance from the old gods. Corypheus commands a false archdemon, a corrupted old god. This suggests he no longer sees himself as their minion. Some of his unique power comes from the corruption of the Blight. The rest may come from the orb he carries.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
That's where I came from, right? So this leads to Leliana, Leliana, Dorian, Fiona.
I ran into Fiona. Seems you have Alexius serving the mages.
Seemed more worthwhile than just killing the fucker.
There's some justice in that after what he did to them. Maybe one day he'll realize it.
I should go.
As you wish.
Especially as I kind of do feel sorry for him. Like, he's never believed in Tevinter authority, but he was desperate to save his son. Like, Tevinter supremacy, I mean. There's this notion that there is some manner of invisible curtain that separates the world of the living from the world of the spirits. Whether we call it the fade or the beyond is a matter of racial politics, so I refuse to indulge at the moment. There's no this side and that side when it comes to the veil. One cannot think of it as a physical thing or barrier or even shimmering wall of holy light. Thank you very much for that image, your perfection. Think of the veil instead as in one's eyes. Before you opened them, you saw our world as you see it now, static, solid, unchanging. Now that they're open, you see the world as the spirits see it, chaotic, ever-changing, a realm where the imagined and the remembered have as much substance as that which is real. More, in fact. There is so much bubbles in that. I'm burping constantly. The spirit sees everything as defined by will and memory, and this is why they're so very lost when they cross the veil. In our world, imagination has no substance. Objects exist independently of how we remember them or what emotions we associate with them. Mages alone possess the power to change the world with their minds, and perhaps this forms the nature of a demon's attraction to them. Who can say? Regardless, the act of passing through the veil is much more about changing one's perceptions than a physical transition. The veil is an idea. It's the act of transition itself, and it is only the fact that both living beings and spirits find the transition difficult that gives the veil any credence as a physical barrier at all. A dissertation on the Fade as a physical manifesto by Marino, Senior Enchanter of the Moonrathers, Circle of Magi, 655 Steel. I wonder when the Fade is gone, or before the Fade existed, when there was no veil, it was just everything. The implication... You okay, Dorian? The implication that Solus made was that, like, not all elves are mages? If we exist partly in the Fade and partly not because there is no distinction anymore, then what do non-mages do?
I heard of your verdict on Alexios, Inquisitor. Servitude is kinder a punishment than I would have given, but I won't complain. He may wish you'd done worse. My fellows have some interesting ideas on exactly what he can do as compensation.
You were once a Grey Warden.
Mine is an unusual circumstance, Inquisitor. Normally one is part of the Order until death. But long ago I found myself stripped of what made me a Warden. They tried to reinitiate me, but nothing worked. Nor could they figure out how it happened. So I was sent to the Circle of Magi, the first Warden ever to be kicked out. Quite the achievement.
You sound happy about it.
Becoming a Warden seemed like a dream when I was first conscripted. Towards the end, however, my brothers and sisters, they felt I had somehow cheated death. I was glad to leave. It also made me unique in the Circle. I had an opportunity to do more than I ever could as a Warden.
You, ever talk to Alistair? The King? No reason. I was just curious.
You mean you began the Mage Rebellion?
I pushed for our vote to free the Circles of Magi. But I cannot claim sole responsibility for what followed. Still, despite all the chaos, I would do it again. What happened had to happen.
So Loghain. Just think about Loghain for a minute. He knows that... Is it his uncle is the Isle of Redcliffe, Arleman, whose wife is Orlesian? He knows King Marek apparently had a dalliance with this Orlesian elf in front of us. That must have driven him mad, given how a large part of his motivation for being the villain in the second game was not wanting Kaelin getting the support of Empress Selene against the Blight, and potentially a romantic relationship between them, which would have been interesting politically, let's put it that way.
You're not still the Grand Enchanter then?
Any claim I had to the title ended along with the Circles of Magi, although some still call me by it. Perhaps the Circles will one day be resurrected. If so, another will take the position. Until that time, I lead my fellow mages by default. I will do what I can for them.
You believe they'll recreate the Circle of Magi after all this?
It depends on who the next divine is, and what she offers. We can't go back to the way things were. But endless warfare benefits no one. That is why I agreed to Justinia's conclave. There must be another solution.
I trust everything is well with the mages.
We're mostly relieved. An alliance with the Inquisition offers security, although who knows for how long.
I'll leave you to it.
Another time then.
Oof, okay.
Inquisitor?
What is your evaluation of how we're doing?
Adequate, based on the partial improvements to Skyhold.
As you were?
Yes, Inquisitor.
Oh, let's come up here then. Dear Liliana, wow, let's start that one again. Dear Liliana, you'll be happy to learn that your friends are doing well. Schmooples II is still unhappy about his meal plan and tries to get into the pantry. I tried to have a bolt installed and now he whines constantly. The two little ones are still a handful, but good news! I've managed to discourage Boulette from relieving herself from the silk rug Justinia gave you. Felicien from 2 doors over has been visiting almost every day to play with the nugs. She's quite delightful and Schmooples II is fond of her. I suspect it's because she brings him sweets from her father's shop. I had to ask her governess to keep her from visiting the house, however, as someone tried to infiltrate it 2 nights ago. An agent of one of the Blanchards, hoping to uncover some of the Nightingale secrets. I neutralized and interrogated him. His ability to withstand questioning was deplorable. Someone needs to talk to the Blanchards about their spies. All I had to do was put Schmooples II in his face and tell him that I hadn't fed the creature that day. Your pet played his part admirably. I received your orders and will depart for Ferelden as soon as possible. I have arranged for Garda to take over nug keeping.
Did you need something?
I guess not.
I'll leave you to your work.
Liliana. I remember when you sang for the entire camp and then you fucked the hero of Ferelden. Good times. Sadler. Baron Plucky, I don't care how many missions he's flown or how many lives his actions have saved. He's a holy terror. Nearly becked up my eye last time I tried to attach a message to him. All the dramatic flapping and squawking caused the sister to come over. You should have seen her look when she snatched that letter from me. If I had a weaker constitution, it might have killed me on the spot. I suppose she thought I was trying to murder her prized raven. All she had to do was coo at him and the Baron hopped onto her shoulder, all sweetness, and nestled into her neck. How does she do it? All the birds like her. Is it blood magic? It's blood magic, isn't it? I've read this before. Also, I feel like all of the ravens, in a weird way, actually makes more sense if she died in the first game. Because they are part of her. Like, she's not really a person. She's a Lyrian being. But no, because she survived, this is really actually for realsies her. Vivienne... Bonsoir? Did I click it? Or are you just taking a while, are we? I don't know if it's registering that I've clicked it. Who is Thren? Thren, that name sounds really familiar. Is this... I think my quarters are through there? I don't know if I can go through that. I don't know if this scaffolding ever disappears. I swore I could walk through there. Oh, is this the mosaic? Like, there's pieces missing, but surely more than two. Okay, so that bit there leads to Vivian. That's quarters. That must be Josie. Yeah. This is fun. And I said all that while I was muted. I said she must be cold wearing this, and also that's a pretty view. Good, we've all caught up. Let's I'm say head on down, but we can survey a lot of Skyhold from up here. I wish we could see people, but oh well. Yes, that's a level of detail too far from this distance. Little cupboard area. As much as I appreciate the roaring fire, all of these doors are just being left open. Anyway, now we've been in this place for absolutely no reason. What is this below us? No. I hear sounds. This one was the one that led to Vivian, wasn't it? Look at that GPU dropping constantly whenever there's a stutter. I hate when it does that because the temptation is to turn settings on and say, well, if you can't run it at the frame rate you want, then clearly you should turn things down a bit. But actually, no. If the GPU usage is dropping, then lowering GPU requirements would actually not do anything. I suspect what we're seeing here is a storage limitation. Wow, Vivian is not actually kind of really properly loaded in yet. Can I walk around her? No. Oh, here she is. There she is. Let's click her. I'm going to take a quick pee break, and maybe by the time I come back, I might have loaded some dialogue. But also, I would have peed.
But I can never reach you.
Conversation loaded a bit.
I wanted to ask you about the Circle of Magi.
Of course. What do you wish to know?
If the Circle disbanded, how can you still belong to it?
The circle is an idea, my dear. And an idea cannot be dissolved. Many of the first enchanters...
Ideas are bulletproof.
...caring little that anything short of a unanimous decision would pit mage against mage. Rather than dissolving it, Grand Enchanter Fiona's vote split the circle in two. The rebels follow her, the loyalists follow me.
If you led all the loyalists, why are you only First Enchanter and not Grand Enchanter?
Grand Enchanters are elected, and since there are no First Enchanters besides myself, no vote can be held. I could name myself...
Sounds like you have a unanimous vote there, Vivienne.
When the circles are restored, that will change.
You must have an opinion of the Templars after living so long in the Circle.
Having opinions about Templars, my dear, is exactly like having opinions about mages or Navarrans or men. I have known some who were impossible to endure and some who were utterly charming. I have suffered insults at the hands of those in the armor, but no more than I endured from nobles or tradesmen in Val-Royal. Personally, I have found the Templars a useful tool, skilled at keeping more unpleasant elements at bay. Yes?
Is there anything I can do to help your efforts at restoring the Circle?
After the circles fell, their libraries were plundered by scavengers. 1,000 years of recorded knowledge in the hands of bandits. It makes me sick to think of it. I've received news that some tomes have been located, if you are interested in righting this wrong.
Yeah, that seems actually pretty reasonable.
I'll look into it for you.
If you can take care of this matter, the circle would be in your debt.
I feel like Vivienne should have been first enchanter in Kirkwall. Because, first of all, her very luxurious position in Val-Royal is kind of not... I mean, she's coming from a position of such immense privilege, it's unbelievable. And her sort of sense of superiority over everyone who doesn't. But I don't know how she would have handled Meredith. I don't know how she would have handled being confined to her cell. Maybe she would have snapped before Orsino. On the other hand, Ooh. Hello.
Inquisitor?
The Arcanist has arrived.
You should see for yourself.
there. Well, don't just stand there slack-jawed. Let's figure out what you need.
You're the magical advisor?
Oh, you're her. The Inquisitor. I'm Dagna. Arcanist Dagna. It's an honor, your worship. Is that it? The hand anchor mark? It's pretty. The breach was pretty too. In a destroy everything sort of way.
I welcome you to the Inquisition and look forward to your contribution.
Me too. I've heard some impossible things. I love impossible things. Those are the best to make, well, possible. I've looked at Harrod's devices. Precision is fantastic, but typical. Mundane. Old thinking. No disrespect meant to the classical trades, but you need a new perspective. I've made adjustments. As long as I keep making them, you can craft just about anything. Almost safely.
Where does a dwarf go to study magical theory?
Get out. I asked myself that question for years. Turns out, not in Orzammar. I had to start at a circle. I had help, though. A Grey Warden, and I am forever grateful. With that sanction, I visited a half-dozen circles. Wonders I've seen. And with an objective eye, I can spot where they overlap. That's a surprise for every teacher. It's a grand tradition, and it works so well with new thinking.
You mentioned a Grey Warden who helped you start your studies.
Not any Grey Warden. The Grey Warden. The hero of Ferelden is a hero in Orzammar, too. It's incredible that someone like the hero of Ferelden would stop to help the little people. Literally.
Yeah, we had a lot of side quests. We spent a lot of time doing them. My first playthrough took 101 hours, but most of that was just getting lost and running around in circles. I've got no sense of direction whatsoever. I didn't discover the map until I was fighting the Archdemon.
The Warden affected you in a special way.
Not as special as Liliana.
It was a dark time. There was one light. She saved us. She saved me.
Your years of study have paid off.
Oh yes, the mages said I brought a valuable perspective. I've even presented my work to the College of Enchanters. I wanted an exchange. The Surface could learn about lyrium smithing, and Orzammar would gain knowledge of magic. But now there's no college. And so far as the Shaper is concerned, I'm castless. So you're getting my best work, Inquisitor. Let's make some great stuff.
You gave up so much, left your home. Was it really that amazing?
Yes. I left my home and my family, but I just knew I could be more than a smith.
Yeah, your dad didn't like the Grey Warden.
And I regret that my father couldn't imagine another life for me. But I don't regret what I did.
All right, rein it in. You have work to do.
Right, sorry. I get carried away.
Don't tell her to rein this in. Alianwen, what are you fucking talking about? Let her be excited.
It'll be wonderful.
You were quick to join the Inquisition. Is there something you want?
How could I waste a chance to get close to you? And Corypheus?
Wow.
And actual physical rifts in the Vale? Also, dwarves? We don't dream. So, when mages talk about it, I can only, well, dream what it would be like. So there's that, and all the things you'll probably find, and what I'll get to make. The rules are different here. Plus, you're paying me a lot. Like, wow, so much.
I'd be paid a lot. This is like the only job I know of where the leader get. I guess this is like how, you know, when a CEO gets paid a salary of like $1 and everything else is in assets. This is like this, but without the fucking assets.
What qualifies you to be an arcanist?
I took the title because I'm a magical researcher, philosopher, and master of practical application. And I like
I like her.
I know the value of mastering a craft. Did you know dwarves invented enchanting? Probably.
What is it you do, exactly?
I was born to the forge. That's literal in the Smithcast. So the hammer and tong, that's like a heartbeat. But you've a man for that already. And a good one. I'm here because of my passion for magic. Magical study, magical theory, magical enchantment.
Enchantment?
And through it, the manipulation of
Enchantment.
I studied it all with an objective eye. No secrets, no fears. That lets me apply principles like no other. Maybe one other, but I don't have that wonky of a mind, so I still kind of win.
You've met Sandal.
You have the ability to make exceptional weapons and armor. Masterworks?
There's an art to the forge, as well as enchanting. You need an ear for it. And hands. Eyes, too. Nothing bad to say about Herod on that front. He's wonderful. But there's this little more needed. With the right bits, an edge can be more than an edge. Armor can do more than protect. A hue can be just a bit brighter. In short, smithing can be more. In short.
Yes, I get it. You're... Actually, you know, to be fair, I literally just got it. Yeah, she's a dwarf. Yeah, she spends herself entirely with mages. None of whom are dwarves. She is literally the only dwarf he ever encounters. Does it count as encountering yourself? Anyway, the point is there is no one else, like, hence the short jokes. Even an elf. Well, I know I'm close to the camera, so let's say I'm about there. And to be fair, she is standing inside the ground, but...
What's the story with enchanting?
Lyrium is the heart. In certain rational patterns, it beats like something alive. That's how I see it. So, a mage can make your weapons do things, but with the right runes, the right rarities, your toys become wonders. It's the one thing mages can't do. It drives them mad. Literally. Dwarves are resistant, so it doesn't affect us. Mostly.
Which is why in the circles it's done by the Tranquil.
Of course. Bring me what you want made, and I'll make sure it goes just right.
They can't do it unless they've been cut off from the Fade.
Thanks, Inquisitor.
You seemed impressed by the anchor. What does it look like to you?
I heard what everyone says what you heard Coryphia say. That's a long chain of who said what's. To me, it says key. But keys do a lot of things. Open, lock, switch. Some open one thing, some open everything. It sounds like Coryphius made it to open, but it looks like you can use it to close. It may be that simple. It sure is pretty. Wish I could see through it.
Maybe it's a key all the time, and when you put it in people, it unlocks their death.
Dagna, show me what you can do.
Do you want fire? The first ask is always fire. It's fire, isn't it? Here's how it goes. Bring me the rare stuff for enchanting or masterworks and prep it here, just like normal. Except it's not. It's manipulation of primal forces. And I'll make sure it goes just right. You'll see. Let's see together.
Oh. Hi Rose, how are you doing? So when we crafted these before, we only used these and didn't have that. Can we not modify it? I guess we can't. It's a crafting thing. Alright, I'll have a go making... Can I make one? Fade touch serpent stone, great bear claws. Iron bar. Ability berserk. What does that mean? A bleeding healing scepter. That sounds good. It's not as good as the one I made before. About Dorian. Sure, you know what? Better than your shitty staff of sepsis. Actually, a staff of sepsis sounds quite good, actually.
Ready to answer the great mysteries. It'll be wonderful. I'll see you later, Dagna.
I can't wait.
But I do love Dagna though. She's adorable. Int armor. Okay, so I can tint just the... I don't know, because I feel like... Yeah, customizing armor is great, but as soon as I kill some enemies, I'm gonna get some better armor, right? What am I currently wearing? $113. Can I make something better than 113? Yeah, I guess. Well, that's very Dalish. I mean, it's a keeper robe. Why would it not be very Dalish? Alright, I can wear like formal attire that is actually decent armor. Quite. That's basically what I'm wearing now. I mean, I am Dalish, so why not? Absorbing imbued keeper robe. So basically myself and Solus are the only two who can actually wear this. Can you wear this? Yes. I don't know what it's gonna fucking look like on him, but... Oh. Not that dissimilar to what it looks like on me, actually. Right, now let's tint it. Let's go for lazurite. Really? I want to change the green to something. I guess that's a bit that looks very, like, Dalishy. Well, there's not much point in changing anything else if I can't change the green. That's like the majority of the outfit. Right. I am gonna get a drink because I've drank both of the ones I just got. And by just, it was about an hour ago. So let's nearly spilt apple tango all over my desk. Operative word, nearly.
This is my earth.
And I live in it. Anyway, I need... I'm gonna go... Anyhow, I'm pretty sure everyone is done in the war room. So I'm gonna just quickly go here. Shows how long I've been looking for fucking everyone in this fortress. That big old normal sized door inside the big old double doors reminds me so much of Monkey Island 2. In the end, LeChuck's fortress. Bam, ba-dam, bam, 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 bam. I was playing those, wasn't I? I was playing the Curse of Monkey Island when I moved over to joystick. Good times. Josie is not done yet. Time remaining an hour. Alright. Nightingale. Cameron is dead. Fully armored, locked in an inner room in his home, knife in his back. He knew someone was coming for him. Ironically, the scene was exactly like the same as the one in the first Hiding Hightown novel. Someone sent a professional after this magistrate. He had to leave a trail. Cooper. Sutherland lads reported back the bandits were cleared with minor spoils. He may have potential. Cullen. A copy of Hiding Hightown. A copy of Hiding Hightown sits open on the table. Jevlin was waiting outside the captain's office when Donan Brenakovich slunk out, defeated. We're getting a warrant, are we? Jevlin looked almost relieved. No. Donan met his partner's eyes. The kid was barely 20 and looked like he'd walked straight to the Kirkwall barracks from someone's potato farm. Taller and broader than the other guards, Jevlin slouched as if he didn't know how to fit in his own limbs, as if he thought he should remain... as if he thought he should be smaller.
Can you arrange what we discussed earlier, Ambassador?
I found the money. The Inquisition will compensate the families of those we lost at Haven.
Thank you.
Hunched over in his brand new too large army, he looked like a child playing at being a guard. He was too green for a murder investigation. Maybe it's for the best, Jevlin said, almost speaking Donan's thoughts out loud. You're on your way out of the guard, and I'm... Why am I giving Jevlin the older voice? He trailed off, then sighed. Questioning nobles in the middle of the night wasn't covered in training. Donan glared at the kid. I'm the city guard, and so are you, recruit. Nobody gets in the way. Nobody gets away with murder while we're on duty. Jevlin stood a little straighter. What do we do then? The captain wants proof. Don smiled. We bring her proof. Eliana has written in the margin, the dead magistrate. Attempt to implicate Varric? Why? And in what? If an assassin killed the magistrate, word to the crows might tell us who it was. They watch rivals carefully. What if it was the crows? There are reports of darkspawn activity in the Storm Coast. While the area is sparsely populated, the darkspawn pose a significant threat to travelers, as well as to the Inquisition soldiers stationed on the coast. Should the darkspawn branch away from the region, villagers further inland may be at risk. Risky refuge. Scouts could sneak past the darkspawn and try to determine where they're coming from. Darkspawn are emerging from underground. Our soldiers can sweep the area, determining where they're most concentrated. Sure, you know what? Fine. Inquisition released an urgent request for aid from Osmo. The subterranean earthquake like one of their lyrium mines and endangered several others. Even worse, the tunnels seals, preventing Darkspawn overrunning the Darkspawn, but deep roads crumbled, allowing hordes of the enemy to invade. Osmar is a key providing the Inquisition's lyrium supplies, so security is a top priority. The earthquake opened a fissure. This is a DLC, isn't it? I am going to open this up, but I'm not going to do this quest. Not for a while. Osmar has the experts we need to build such a lift. At your discretion, you're going to hire a team of the best construction workers right away. I know where to find people who can build mining lifts. So you need to move quickly to contain them or dispatch with. A construction team arrived on the Storm Coast, mounted several mining lifts to transport Inquisition fortune from the earthquake fissures opening into the deep roads. Report sent by messenger bird Inquisitor. The mining lift in the Storm Coast Mountains will be finished by the time you get there. Anyone going into the deep roads should dress accordingly. Don't skimp on armor and bring the best weapons in Skyhold's arsenal. I also recommend packing plenty of dry rations. Most things down there will be looking to eat the Inquisition, not the other way around. Anna Cullen. Scouts reporting a number of travelers entering the western approach. Surprising since the place is blighted desert with no trade routes. More surprising no one is leaving. It bears investigating. Knight Captain Rylan. We've established a foothold in the western approach per orders. Already one skirmish with the Venatori, but no casualties. Requesting reinforcements. The term blighted desert doesn't do this place justice. Lieutenant Harding. The spies have discovered orders from the Victoria's high-ranking commanders. A large number of majors are traveling westward to excavate something of great value to our cause. The Inquisition must find whatever its enemies are searching for. The region is vast, but Leliana is ready to put a network to use in tracking down Corypheus's minions. The Venatori are sending some of their best scholars into the wilderness. Let's discover precisely where they are headed. Venatori are camped in a place known as the Hissing Wastes. They're working their slaves to death, digging our buildings out from the sand. The Inquisition should step quickly, because if it doesn't, I'm going to bash the Venatori's heads in, and you'll need a new scout. Be Scout Harding. Our spies looked into the breakdown of contact between Valreo and Imperial Army forces in the Dales. Troops on both sides agreed to cease hostilities, then retreated to their camps to await the outcome of peace talks. What occurred after the withdrawal is a mystery. The last communique from Gaspard's marshal reported the rash of desertions. After that, silence. I agree this warrants further investigation. Do what you will, and my agents will lend support. March the soldiers to the exalted plains and position scouts in strategic areas. If lines of communication are drawn, you must be prepared for anything. The scout hunting is en route, awaiting further orders. She's going fucking everywhere because we are not really caring. Let's send her to the Emprise de Lyon. My dearest Josephine, the hills of Emprise de Lyon are in peril. A maidservant recently returned from visiting an uncle in Sarnia spoke of gruff helmeted men about the village's quarry and the appearance of strange red crystals in the fields close by. I suspected red lyrium and sent men to investigate, but the bridges leading to the area had all been destroyed. The Red Templar's handiwork, I wager. If we do not act quickly, all of the highways may be lost. I wish I bore fairer tidings, my dear. My warmest regards to your family. I pray the quelling of these winter winds of chaos, that we may meet again in springtime. Your truest friend and I, Edouard Desjardins. The Elf's Blood River froze over an unseizable chill. We'll need brave soldiers and sturdy mounts, so it's our only pass to the mountains. We broke through to Sarnia, and lead guard Howling is with the vanguard sent to establish the Inquisition camp. Early reports indicate the red lyrium is spreading. Cullen. And we're kind of out of power. Whoopsie. My blood sugar's low. What? How dare? Oh, 3.7. Okay, I'll have some biscuits then. Ah, well, maybe. I'm gonna just stand here for a bit while the game loads. Right. It's most of the overworld has loaded. Kind of. Well, bollocks. Help? I'm stuck. I'm inside a... When was the last time I saved? Like a minute ago. 23:41. This going to find Cullen went is going fantastically, don't you think? Right. This is basically where... I say basically, these are the stairs I got lost inside, right? It's not even the place I wanted to go. Where the fuck was Cullen? Sure, he was up here somewhere. I love how this entire stream has been just trying to find my squad members in Skyhold and failing at that. Oh. Hello there, Cullen.
Was there something you needed?
Believe the last person to find then is Hawk.
Is there anything I should know?
I'm glad to have the charges on our side. Bull's men are professionals, despite evidence to the contrary.
What do you think of the people you work with?
Who do you mean?
What do you think of our ambassador?
We have little in common. How she delights in meeting with nobles all day is beyond me. But I enjoy working with her.
Not bad.
How do you like working with Leliana?
The Inquisition would not exist without her. I may not always agree with her methods, but she's more passionate about our cause than anyone. Cassandra may have declared the Inquisition publicly, but Liliana is just as responsible for its formation.
Are you satisfied with the Inquisition's forces?
Our soldiers are well disciplined and committed to the cause. Templars and mages are not used to seeing each other as allies, but they are working together well enough thus far.
I feel like that's the entire problem. First of all, I don't think Templars and mages... I don't think the oversight of the mages should be under a religious organization. Because... like, we know the Templars abduct Dalish mages. We know the Dalish can't stay in one place because all of their keepers and their firsts, by definition, are Dalish. No, well, they are Dalish, but they're also mages. That's what I want to say, mages. Which means that there's going to be a ton of circle mages who are Dalish, who were kidnapped and essentially forced under the thumb of another religious, another religion. Which is fucked up. I've lost a health bar. I had 5 a minute ago. Fuck is Hawk? Cullen, tell me this isn't where you sleep. Cullen, we can afford to get you a proper bed and a roof. My god, it must be fucking freezing. Wait, I swear I've been here. Like... okay, I guess this is a quick way to where Cullen was, or is. Oh, I remember this bit. Great. There was nothing over here at all. Hurrah! There we go. Walks in one of these like courtyard areas. Just don't remember which one or you get there. Let's not jump off of there. That's a long way down, that is. Oh, fuck. I don't know if I want to be here when the game loads the floor. I'm just gonna get buried again. And here to Cullen. Like this. This should be... Yeah, look where that leads. This should be like where Solus is, right? This is exactly where Solus is. So that shadow on the wall was presumably Solus. Okay, so I can basically get to Cullen from Solus. Oh, Cullen, your desk has gone awry. The best laid plans of mice and men gang affagly. Cool. There's, or should be coal over there, but this is the pub, right?
Good day.
Sarah was something right? If only the bard has spawned in. sure this was where Hawk was. May I think I've just realized why I can't find Hawk. I think I have finally understood. She's gone looking for Stroud. Right? She isn't in the keep. No. Sure, I looked for the hidden warden. What level am I? 12. I did have something in the hissing waste as well. Varric has a friend named Hawk. He fought Corypheus once before, and now fears the Grey Wardens are under his influence of the ancient Darkspawn. Hawk has a warden contact who may be... That's where she is. She's not in... fucking... Whatever. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 9 companions now to match the 9 ring wraiths. So be it. You shall be the... I don't know why I'm doing Gandalf's voice or a line that was clearly Elrond's. So be it. You shall be the fellowship of the Inquisition. That was the line, right? Jesus Christ, what am I doing? Go back. 1 set with 3 random integers between 1 and 9. Right, I am taking 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna play some Tim Minchin because am I? All right, my shortcut key isn't working, and I'm loath to Alt tab out of the game because when I did that the last time I was getting loading issues, the game crashed and I kind of couldn't launch it again unless I restarted my machine, which again, not going to happen at this stage in the night. I'll just leave it be and be a little bit sad. My play button isn't working. I wonder if I can use KD Connect. See, KD Connect wants to play and pause joystick itself. Which is not entirely the box.
And I live in it.
Woohoo! My phone, it worked!
Dirt and 2/3 water.
Guess I could also have used my watch. Rather an impressive pace, never even messes up my hair.
And here's a really weird thing. The
Force that created by its spin
is the
force that stops the chaos flooding in.
This is my earth, and it's fine.
It's where I spend the vast majority of my time. It's not perfect,
But it's mine. It's not perfect. This is my country, and I live in it. It's pretty big and nice to walk on, and the bloke who runs my country has built a demagoguery and taught us to be fearful and boring. And the weirdest thing is that he is conservative of politics, but really rather radical of eyebrow. This is my country, and it's fine. It's where I spend the vast majority of my time. It's not perfect, but it's mine. It's not perfect. This is my house, and I live in it. It's made of cracks and photographs we rented off a guy who bought it from a guy who bought it from a guy whose granddad left it to him. And the weirdest thing is that this house has locks to keep the baddies out, but they're mostly used to lock ourselves in. This is my house, and it's fine. It's
where I spend the vast majority of my time. It's not perfect, but it's mine.
It's not perfect, but it's mine.
Boom, ba, ba, da.
This is my body, and I live in it. It's 29 and
Fucking hell.
old. It's changed a lot since it was new. It's done stuff it wasn't built to do. I often
Try to fill it up with wine.
And the weirdest thing about it is I spend so much time hating it, but it never says a bad word about me. This is my body and it's fine. It's where I spend the vast majority of my time. It's not perfect, but it's mine. It's not perfect. This is my brain, and I live in it. It's made of love and bad song lyrics.
Okay, that was quite loud.
It's tucked away behind my eyes.
I saw a slider and I had to mess with it.
Can hide, 'cause God forbid I
For
hurt
somebody.
And the weirdest thing about a mind is that every answer that you find is the basis of a brand new cliche. This is my brain, and it's fine. It's where I spend the vast majority of my time. It's not perfect, but it's mine. It's not perfect, but it's mine. It's not perfect. I'm not quite sure I've worked out how to work it. It's not perfect, but it's mine.
Okay. I was gonna push the down button, but I don't want to crash the game. Well, you know, I kind of may as well finish my champagne. There's only a little bit left. Actually, I'm going to take a quick pee break. I hope this is loaded soon. Guess that was too much to ask for, wasn't it? Then it might have loaded by the time I got back. It's not, look, it's not even accessing the fucking drive. Which may have something to do with the fact that OBS is recording, which means it is accessing the fucking drive constantly. And it may be hogging most of the bandwidth, who knows? I'm glad we got music at the very least.
case, please let me know if there's more I can give you. If nothing comes of it, then just know we are grateful.
VRAM usage has started going back up. As does GPU usage. I can only presume that's a good thing. You think Disturbed would consider this a valuable use of stream time? Just enjoying their music while a black screen is playing, hoping that it's actually fucking loading. Well, the VRAM usage is going up. It was 10 while I was playing. It dropped to 7 during the loading screen, and it slowly started creeping up. IO is negligible. I think is a fair way of describing this. Swap usage is full. I don't understand this about Linux. I don't know if it's Linux or if it's this OS or just my shitty build. I've got 48 gigs of RAM, right? I don't understand why you'd be using swap at all, much less maxing it out. I only have 2 gigs available when I've only using 22.5 gigs of RAM, which means I've got what, 25 and a half gigs available. Why would you be using any swap when you've got 25 and a half gigs of RAM just sitting there not doing anything? Maybe there are valid reasons. Maybe I should have given my system more than 2 gigs of swap, but I didn't really think there was a reason to when I had this much RAM in the first place. Maybe the 2 gigs of swap is not especially needed, which is why it's in swap and not in RAM. I know that there's a lot of variables, like, for example, different file systems I know require different amounts of RAM. When I had a laptop that ran FreeBSD, that basically was always at max RAM usage because ZFS was just using everything they had available. And if I needed to run something, it would take some out and just reallocate it. It's fine. It was... Oh, we got some GPU usage. Slit my throat, it's all I ever. As much as I love that song, the game just fucking loaded. And we've got some updates. Wow. We got some leveling up to do. What? That was the button I pressed, but not the one I wanted to press. You have archery. What have we got? We've got archery, sabotage, subterfuge, artificer. Years of experience with the Merchants Guild and publishing with Varric has become an expert. Okay, so these are generic rogue abilities, and this is Varric. In which case, let's give you the shit now the rogue can do. Weapon and shield. Templar. This is the shit I wanted you to have from the start as a seeker of the truth. Or seeker of truth. Templar, long ago, the seekers of... What now? That was a noise. Oh, we're just heavily delaying the noise of me upgrading Varric, are we? Right. Every sound, every motion I just made that did not have a sound, we're going to be playing those in real time. Right. Long ago, the Seekers of Truth founded the Templar Order and taught them how to deal with hostile mages and their spells. Cassandra thus possesses all of the Templar's abilities without the risk of lyrium addiction. Which just goes to show we could teach all of these abilities to the Templars without getting them addicted to lyrium. However, doing so would remove a crucial element of control from them, from us. So we're not going to do that because what are we? Through faith and will, you dispel those hostile magic from the area around you. Let's ablaze you rally all your nearby allies to fight with greater strength, especially when facing demons. Well, we do face demons a lot. Your party's attacks have a... fuck it. Doesn't really matter, does it? In fact, even this doesn't matter. Like, this only matters because these are ones you can use in real time from the number key, which, by the way, there are... I know why, but let's just pretend for a moment. I don't like this. I don't like this. If you remember in Dragon Age Origins, I had a bar at the bottom that I dragged out as far as it would go. Now, it was designed for 1080p screens because back in 2010, 2011, that was a lot. That was a... It wasn't... I mean, I know people who had 1440p screens back then, right? I know that you could get like Apple Macs that came with 1600p screens. I know people with gaming machines that had those, but I bought... In fact, it's there! The screen that currently has OBS running is a 1080p screen that when I first built the first iteration of this machine, of which the only remaining part is a 2 terabyte WD black hard drive, mechanical hard drive even. That is a screen that I got with it, and it's still okay. It's 27-inch 1080p, which is... You can see the pixels, you really can. Not from this distance. From this distance I could. If it was right here, I could see them very clearly. I was running 64 times SLI anti-aliasing, which was pointless because above like 4 times, 5 times, 4 times, 8 times diminishing returns, you can't see any more than that. 64 times is fucking a lot. Anyway, point being, this bar was running across the entire length of the screen at 1080p. It ran up to about here at 4K, if you remember, and it was... the UI was tiny and blah 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 blah. It's not great. So look at the health. So yeah, I don't like... In Origins, you had up until 0, like the entire number key and 0, and then afterwards was just extra. You could pause the game, you could click them, and you unpause and whatever. You weren't limited to the number bar, but it was nice to have because at least 10 abilities was quite a decent amount. Here we've got 1 to 8, and I know why we've got 1 to 8. I know exactly why we've got 1 to 8. Because on the console version, you've got the 4 face buttons, and you press L1 or 2 to get to the second layer of face button to get another 4 face buttons. So that's 8 buttons in total. This is exactly how... I mean, my mum used to have this game, not this game, Origins on PS3, and holy fuck, that was a bad port of the game. That was back in the day when you might have a game that was released for PC and would have a bad console port. Now we've got console versions of the game with a bad PC port. Don't get me wrong, we had the opposite as well. We had like Crisis 2. That was a sign of things to come, right? Crisis 2, where Crisis 1 was a game that was PC through and through, and yeah, had a version, I think, for consoles, but Crisis, that was a name, right? That was a... Can it run Crisis is a thing people still say, albeit in jest. But...
Inquisitor,
Hi. So yeah, Hitman Crisis. I really miss having the full first bar available from both. That was an accident, but okay. Dragon Age Origins and 2. Dragon Age Origins was such a PC game. Not in terms of like how good it looked. It was it never set the world on fire. In 2010, was it 2009 actually? I think it released. I just ran straight around here. It never ran out first on 2 GTX 580s in SLI. And it's never been spectacular. But in terms of the mechanics, in terms of mouse and keyboard, in terms of how he actually controls, my god, were the console versions clearly an afterthought. Which is something we're probably never going to see again. This game was meant to be a return to form after Mass Effect, Dragon Age 2.
The mages have joined the Inquisition. Only a few of the mad apostates are still fighting.
The world is finally coming to its senses.
But this is not. This. I can see the compromise they're going for here. But I really don't get along with that view at all. This is not the AoE-ness that we had in Origins. I don't even think it's that much better than we had in Dragon Age 2. Which was the problem. Dragon Age 2 was seen as too much of a action game, not enough of an RPG. I think this is less of an RPG. I can't even choose where to spend my skill points. That's all done automatically. That's all done here. Strength, dexterity, magic 42. Willpower 17. Constitution 10. In Dragon Age Origins and 2, I was a Constitution mage. Oh my god. Fucking bubbles. Fucking bubbles in this. I cannot. Oh god, I got hiccups now. Wunderbar. What's that even? Oh. What will I say before I get hiccups? Like, I know a lot of the issues of this game are from Frostbite. Like, what could you do? Right, this is back when EA were being... EA have always been shits, but EA were being micromanaging little shits about... You will use a Battlefield engine and you will use it for RPGs. You'll write your own save function into the game because it doesn't have it already because it's meant for multiplayer multiplayer shooting. My god.
I'll keep an eye out.
Thank you.
it's the UI more than anything, and I don't have confidence that the Dragon Age Dreadwolf API is going to be any more suited to PC. I suspect it's going to be PS5 Series X focus, and you know, PC should be sure fucking glad that you get it at all, right? Seems to be the attitude. I'm not a fan of that.
Thank you, and blessings upon the Inquisition.
I mean, ultimately, I like the improved graphics that PC has available. I like that I can have a 3090, but like at the same time, if I was gaming on a PlayStation, I would be sitting on a sofa back there, I'd be watching on a TV up there. I probably wouldn't necessarily notice if the graphics weren't as good. If the resolution. Wow, why did I go Australian for a brief moment then? If the resolution was slightly less good, I wouldn't notice if I was further away. It's the input. It's the quarries. We have quarries? I think an RPG really needs, I mean, keyboard, sure, but mouse more than anything. No worry about where the direction is going. Mind you, I have been for the last decade, so... Oh well. Recent times. I wonder if I need to be with Vivian. If Vivian needs to be here. I really need to sort out the storage on this PC though.
I must admit, Cassandra, I've never heard of these Seekers of Truth.
Why would you? They do not exist in Tevinter.
But what are they? Some manner of Super Templar? Is this one of those southern secrets like proper hygiene?
Once we worked from the shadows, monitoring Templars and mages alike.
Ah, that clearly worked out well.
She said
Your
once.
glibness does you no credit. The Mage Rebellion was beyond even our power to control.
Your glibness does you no credit. I've heard that one before. To Hawk. Who said it to Hawk? Your glibness does you no credit. Do you think? I think we could take the dragon. Think we could take the dragon? It's level 12. And we're finally level 12. I feel like we've been level like 8 to 12 for like years. Ish. I feel like getting us up to level 12 was the easy part. Well, no. I feel like getting us to level 8 was the easy part. Then we spent like the last 9 billion years getting us the last couple of levels up there. Including a Corypheus fight in the meantime, let's not forget. Holy fuck, the shortcut worked. I didn't ever have to get on my phone. Take it on. Alright, that didn't actually take that long at all. I don't understand. I don't understand what the problem is and why it won't work. Some of the time. So I understand something not working all of the time. And I understand something not working none of the time. What I cannot bring my head around is something not working some of the time. Royal elf root. Oh, here's some loading. The other side, the other side, take it on, take it on. Separate my side. I don't believe this bed. Right, should we fight this dragon? This giant causeway shit that's all over the place. There's a shard up there, isn't there? I remember after I killed the dragon, the next most difficult part, possibly the next most difficult part, was the fucking platforming up there. This game was not designed to be a platformer. Why the fuck they will put platforming sections in it? That's what I don't get about BioWare. Right? We know this is an asshole of an engine to work with. You read Jason Schreier's report on Anthem, like the post-mortem on Anthem, which was a fucking shit show. You realize how much went into Andromeda, and actually, what a fucking job, fucking good job that BioWare Montreal, which no longer exists, BioWare Montreal did of Mass Effect Andromeda getting that engine to work and actually, in many cases, playing to its strengths. Like, the combat in that game is phenomenal. Just probably things that Frostbite does pretty well as a, you know, as a battlefield engine. Bear in mind, it didn't have save games. That's something that had to be hacked in specifically to make the engine work as an for RPGs. I think EA did not give a shit about when they mandated that all of their studios use it for all of their games, regardless of genre or type or anything. Now, bear in mind this game came out before Andromeda and is less attuned to that style of gameplay than Andromeda. So in many respects, especially given how like this game was pretty well received compared to Andromeda, this game didn't require the shutting down and dismissal of an entire studio worth of people like Andromeda apparently did, and I'm never ever gonna stop being salty about that. But likewise, why did they put a platforming puzzle there? That was a choice. You know there are issues, right? You know there are problems, you know there are challenges. Sometimes you think, given the hurdles you have to face, let's choose our battles. And making a 3D platformer should probably not be in there. Hilariously, Andromeda did that fine. Ow, I just stabbed myself in the eyebrow with my own fingernail, which I cut earlier today. But no, hilariously, Andromeda did the 3D platforming fine because they give you a jetpack. And that's a really nice touch about Andromeda, actually. Purely aesthetic. It changes the gameplay, not in the slightest. But it gives you a jetpack. But if you're adept, if you're a biotic, it replaces your jetpack with biotic boost. It's only an animation difference, but it's a neat touch. And it looks kind of good. I like it.
Taking flight.
Don't fucking say, Cassandra. Madre de Dios. Oh, Scheiße. Maybe this is why this is the dragon I always find. I don't know if this is... Alright. I'm having two conflicting thoughts. Maybe this is the hardest dragon. I love it. After all that stuff about the game crashing and not want to go out and whatever. It was OBS that crashed. Specifically, it was the NVIDIA encoder that crashed. So that's something I've got to now spend tonight encoding into one video. Just something I could do without, but never mind. What was I even fucking saying? Hey, I didn't know if this was the easiest dragon. I mean, I know this is the easiest dragon, as in it's the lowest level, it's got the lowest HP, it's got the lowest damage, blah, 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 blah. But it's the first you encounter, and you encounter it way below its own level. But also, this whole path, you have to run through it while it's hitting you. I don't remember the others like this. You just run to them and just start fighting them. Like, I'm a health potion down. And I'm still on the path towards it. Already dead. I'm starting to think maybe fighting a dragon after a bottle of champagne is probably not the best idea. How the fuck did Churchill fight? Oh yeah, he was an alcoholic. Never mind. Where is Dorian? Okay. It was an interesting animation you had just there. Of course you're dead again. Why wouldn't you fucking be? It sat on my face, and not in the fun way. I remember in past games, this did not take nearly as long to refill. This is basically useless at this point. Reminds me of Dragon Age 2 in the fight against Meredith, sorry. She had this ability that would stun you, except I had a thing on my staff, I think it was immunity to stun, which means I could just sit here, just... Not that. Fucking hell, not that. Jesus fucking Christ, stop fucking one-shotting. I say one-shotting me as if they're actually one-shotting me, but they're not. Fuck is... Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, they're both... I set a dragon on fire, just... What the fuck is... What's obsidian? I thought we said Dorian for a moment. Fucking hell, they're dead already. It's just me now. Right. We're gonna die. By we, I mean I. Well, about that dragon. Let's not, eh? I really need to pee. I'm gonna be back in a moment. If I can.
She wanna know, am I still a slut? I gotta take it on the other side. The skyline started and she's in my bed. A candidate for the soulmate blend. Push the trigger and I pull the thread. I gotta take it on the other side.
Right. I'm not gonna go after this dragon. Here lies the abyss. Varric has a friend named Hawk who fought... He fought Corypheus once before, and now fears the Grey Wardens are under the influence of the ancient Darkspawn. Hawk has a warden contact who may be able to say more. Meet Hawk's warden ally in Crestwood. But it's a blast. Alright. Gas, gas, gas.
If you're on edge, I should alert the entire Inquisition.
Or increase my hazard pay. That's an option.
Are things that bad? Oh.
Crestwood was the site of a flood 10 years ago during the Blight. It's not the only rift in the area, but after it appeared, corpses started walking out of the lake. You'll have to fight through them to get to the cave where Sir Hawk's Grey Warden friend is hiding.
I wish we could get better acquainted, Harding, when the dead aren't rising around us, perhaps.
The world would crumble to dust before you ran out of ills to fight. Maybe someone in Crestwood can tell you how to get to the rift in the lake. Maker knows they'll want help. Good luck, and please be safe.
Right, I'm thinking this is a good place to end, because it's 7 minutes past 1 in the morning, and unfortunately it is very much a weekday. So let's leave the game to end. Let's have a look at who is streaming. Shall we drop in on someone who is... Ah. Ooh, loads of people on. Absolutely loads. Okay. And again, the hardest part is closing the fucking EA app. Right. Let's have a look. Have a gander. That's me. I can't drop in on me. Okay. I have ideas. I definitely have ideas. Tell you what. Let's drop in on someone who I've witnessed one of their streams and they are great. I think they're wonderful. But I've never had a chance to drop in on them before. So let's drop. Let's drop it on now. That's the window that has their stream on. Right. And I'll be back hopefully tomorrow. The plan is, if I'm awake enough, tomorrow is book club. So more Here's Dark Materials. Last week, I got as far as getting the book out, putting it on my desk, and then falling asleep. Not ideal. Tomorrow, I want to do more than that. We were taking the Panzerbjörn up north to rescue Roger and the other children from the Gobblers and the church. So yes, that's what I want to do. Anyway, and tonight, for the rest of the night, let's say hi to Nell, who is great. And yeah, just give them all of the love. Good night. I'll see you then.